was replaced by Southgate. Clearly, the problem for the Three Lions had always been coaching. So back-to-back Euro finals, it was Gareth Southgate. Now, Gareth Southgate managed to bring them to a level where we saw a bit of consistency with the Three Lions. Now, they have moved on to bring in a manager who has wins under his belt, who knows how to win titles under his belt. So Thomas Tuchel is the key cog in that Three Lions squad that is expected to make things happen for them. In the qualifiers, watch them. They scored 22 goals, they conceded 0. They swept aside everything they met. In the qualifiers, the Three Lions of England are no pushovers. Forget about and we are rivals and we are rivalry. Rivalry where? Where is the rivalry? What is the rivalry between England and us? In terms of quality, player quality, where do we rank? We are nowhere close to England in terms of player quality. Be it goalkeeping, defense, midfield, attack, nowhere. And that is why I keep saying that, look, this will be the first time Ghana will be parading the squad at the World Cup. That is not as strong as the previous squads we've taken to the World Cup. We must be modest with our expectations. Again, you look at Croatia. Croatia is a team that has been to back-to-back semi-finals at the World Cup. One final berth, one semi-final appearance, finishing third in the process. They have one coach in Zlatko Dalic, who's been with this team since 2017. He's overseen their progress all these years since 2017. A proper championship coach. A coach who knows how to play tournaments. When you mention Croatia, all I hear is, oh, they have old men. Luka Modric. Yes, Luka Modric is 40. Perisic is 36. Yes. Kramaric is 34. Yes. We know. We've heard all of these. But when a coach is able to progress a team, consistently find players to replace aging players, consistently find players to manage a squad and still stay fearful or still have that fear factor, you must be worried. Croatia in the qualifiers, they played 8 games. They won 7, drew 1. Scored 22 goals, conceded 4. Livakovic is still in post for them. A team that know how to organize themselves well during tournaments, Croatia. Even England, their biggest headache in that group is Croatia. I don't see how the Black Stars have a squad or have a coach or have a technical bench that is of superior quality than the Croats. Again, we must be worried. Then we bring in the Canal Boys or the Canal Men, Los Canaleros of Panama. You see, everybody thinks that Panama will be the whipping boys in the group. But let me remind you that Panama have been to the World Cup before. In 2018, they were in Russia. They lost all 3 games. They played Tunisia in their final game. They lost even that one. So when it comes to playing at the World Cup, they've tasted it before. Panama will not be going to another World Cup to lose all 3 games after their experience from 2018. Now guess what? They have a tactical brain, a coach, Thomas Christiansen, a distinguished attacker by all standards during his playing days, a solid coach, started from Al Jazeera, moved to AEK Lenaka, won the Cyprus League with Apoel, came to Leeds United to replace Gary Monk, moved to Union Saint-Gilloise, and then took over that Panama national team in 2020. He's been with this team since 2020. They were runners-up at the CONCACAF Gold Cup in 2023. CONCACAF Nations League 2024-2025, they were runners-up again. And he's been able to build a team to qualify for the 2025 World Cup. They faced 3 rounds of qualification. In the final round, they were unbeaten as they head past Suriname to qualify for the World Cup. They have quality players in their fold. Alberto Quintero has 140 caps for that team. Very experienced campaigner. And their captain, Anibal Godoy, 150 caps for Panama. Very, very experienced player. There are lots of players playing their trade in North America. So you have players coming from Nacional, Minnesota United, and the like. Until recently, they got a player, Andres Andrade, from LASK in Europe. And then they got one other player, Jose Cordoba, who plays for Norwich. Then Marseille have this player called Amer Murillo. He also plays for Panama. They are not a pushover. They are not a team that will come to the World Cup as if they don't know how to play. And their coach, Christiansen. Anybody who knows Christiansen will know that he thrives on this defensive solidity, defensive discipline. When he won the league with Apoel in Cyprus, his team considered the least number of goals. In fact, they had a record of the most clean sheets that season. Panama will not be pushovers. So if anybody is thinking that Panama is going to be a walk in the park, let us revise our notes again. They have a good blend of experience and youth in their squad, with players who have technical ability and are gifted when it comes to the talent, coupled with a coach who has quality. Look, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of even our coaching department, the three teams we are coming up against, all the three teams have a better coach than the Black Stars. All three teams we are coming up against, from Tuchel to Zlatko Dalic to Thomas Christiansen. Otuado is the coach whose body of work doesn't come anywhere close to any of the coaches. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see, this is not to say Ghana will not go and do well or Ghana cannot do well. I'm just saying that we must be modest with our expectations. I've heard all sorts of things since the draw. And Ghana is going to beat England, and Ghana is going to beat Croatia. Look, do not raise the hopes of Ghanaians high. Let us be modest with our expectations. This is a very short sermon.
This is Sporty FM.
We are all Ghanaians. We want to see our Black Stars do well. But there are facts that we cannot overlook. There are issues that we cannot overlook. We want this. Of course, we are Ghanaians. We would love to see the Black Stars go to the World Cup and do what Morocco did. We want to see the Black Stars excel at the tournament. Yes. But we must be cautiously optimistic. That is the sermon I'm delivering this morning. Because the opponents we are coming up against are not going to be pushovers. In terms of quality, in terms of technical direction, in terms of FIFA ranking, in terms of style of play, in terms of ability, these teams seem to be on the high compared to our team. We must be modest with our expectations. I rest my case.
Let
me open the phone lines. Let me open the phone lines for Ghanaians to share their thoughts with me. Share your thoughts with me on the draw, the Friday draw that saw Ghana in Group L, Panama, England, and Croatia. Share your thoughts with me. 0542-571061, 0542-571061, 0542-571061. You can call me. You can disagree with my opinion. Fine, that's fine. You know, it's fine. But I'm just saying that we should be cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic. Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Thanks for calling from Tema Community 8 this morning. Hello, Ray.
Yeah, Otunfo, let's hear you.
Ray, see, I have this coach that I always coach. In life, and the moment you become so expectant, you always be disappointed. Especially when you know what you have is not up there. But because you are overly, expectant, you always be disappointed. And it's just a short message I also have for Ghanaians. Thank you very much, Ray, this morning.
Thank you very much, Otunfo, for joining us. 0542-571061 or 030-279-4805. I have a caller. Good morning to you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
How are we doing, please?
I'm good.
All of us.
Yeah.
Annabelle, what happened?
Annabelle, let's hear you.
Yes. You hit right the point. You hit the point straightforward.
You see, that's how we are. We are think all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. The Ghanaians think they can beat England, they can beat Croatia, as of Panama, they think they are nothing. When you don't even have a proper technical coach who sit on the bench to control affairs for you, you are struggling. You couldn't beat all these countries to qualify for Cup of Nations. All of a sudden, you can beat who? So we want to go forward, as you are saying. We are all Ghanaians. We wish to go far in this competition, but we should just slow down. We should slow down. We are talking too much with high expectation being raised. We are talking too much. So that's all. We should just calm down. You don't even know how everything is going to pan out. We just pray that we thank God this draw looks a bit okay. Maybe we can be happy for that. But speaking out that we are going to beat England, beat Croatia, and pass for Panama, as if we don't even count them amongst the teams that can give us problems. That's how we are. At the end of the day, we will come back to blame whoever and whatever that happened. Good morning to all my fellow callers.
Thank you very much, Anubil, for joining us on the show. 0542571061, 0542571061. Share your thoughts with us. Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, Mr. Raymond.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing awesome. Good morning to everyone doing the listen.
Right.
Yeah, this is Nyamador.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's hear you.
I want to say they played the ground. I'm going for.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Thursday, I told you something that we meet England, like anyway, we meet England.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't want to be Charlie, everybody gets like everybody has this. How do you call it? Everybody has his own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone say gonna beat England, that is his own opinion. If you know the truth, just keep it to yourself. You see, like me, that we know that we can't beat England. It will be very hard for us to beat. You see, Otuado even said it that we can win all these matches, and at the same time, we can lose all that matches.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the fact. We can lose to Panama, and I will not be shocked.
Mm.
You see?
Yeah.
So this one here, Charlie, it don't be anything. I got it from.
Right.
If the time reach, you go cross the road.
Sure.
You go see this England, Panama, or Croatia.
Mm.
That time will come.
Right.
It's just some few months away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just some few months away. And Senator Raymond, this is our technical squad and our technical bench and design. So do you think it can help us in this World Cup?
Oh, we would see.
You see, Charlie, sometimes it's not like we want to go and participate. We should go and do something. Charlie, look at Charlie. I want this our coach and our technical staff, Charlie, and I see that Charlie, there's a big hole. But if you are saying it's like the thing that you don't like the coach or don't like the people around the team, wow. The fact they say these people can't take it anywhere. They can't take it anywhere. People actually people are wild. We are coming. You are just going to America to go and just visit. You are tourists going on the side. You're just going to you are just going to spy America and come back home. Well, Charlie, 48 teams and 38 have to qualify to the and the next round.
32
or 34.
32. So round of
32.
Yeah.
32.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't make it out of 32 teams, then Charlie, it will be big shame. Charlie, it will be big. Charlie, because 32 teams who are going to the round 32. So if you are not among of those teams, then Charlie, it be our power, Charlie. If we do what, then arrange our team and go other. Charlie, have a good morning.
Right, have a good morning. Right, thank you very much, Emmanuel, for joining me on the show. 0542571061 or 030-279-4805. Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from. Okay. This is still the Sporty breakfast. Share your thoughts with me. The Black Stars Group L, the Black Stars will be in Group L at next year's World Cup. Share your thoughts with me. Let's get talking. How do you rate the chances of the Stars going into this competition? Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Good morning, Christopher from Adam.
Christopher, let's hear you.
Yeah, as you have said, it's not going to be easy. Yeah, because Ghana seems to.
Yeah, Christopher. Okay, I think I lost Christopher there. Christopher, you can call me back, 0542571061. And I have another caller. Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Good morning, Raymond.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you, bro.
So with the point you made there, I'm with you all the way. Look at our squad. We have the likes of Kudu, Sporty, and the rest. When you assemble this squad together, they can't even give our strikers 5 quality balls to score. Always hovering the balls, always running around, doing nothing, just roaming up and down. You give the balls to Jiku and say to them, boom, inside. And we are going to play against England, Croatia. People who know how to work with the ball, people who know how to pass, people who know how to score. And we are happy, and we are saying we'll qualify. What are we happy about? And this time, we are just going to be bystanders, go and enjoy the scenery and come back. Because even our coach doesn't know how to work with our players. You watch this Black Stars game, we have strikers like Semenyo, Inaki, and we don't have a proper player, a playmaker who can even give a solid. You watch Black Stars, no two pass, no crossing, nothing at all for the strikers to work with. All we play is 1, 2, 3, give the ball to Jiku outside to them, boom, and the strikers to chase nothing. And then we are happy, and then we are saying we are going to qualify. It should be serious, it should really be serious.
Right. Yeah, good morning to you. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us. 0542571061, 0542571061. Good morning to you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your line is not too clear. If you can reposition yourself. Yeah, I can hear you.
My name is John.
Okay, John, let's hear you.
With all the sermon you gave this morning,
yeah,
then let's write to FIFA and opt out of the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Because with all this sermon you gave this morning, let's write to FIFA and opt out of the competition. Because you saw good things about England, saw good things about Croatia, saw good things about Panama, but when it came to Black Stars, there's nothing good. It is serious. Panama coach is good, Turkey is good, Croatia coach is good, our coach is not good. Then what are we going to do at the competition? Let's opt out. Then let's opt out. You saw nothing good about the Black Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And you are advising us to what? Be moderate in our expectations. Some of us will not. Because we are paying the players to go and do the job. We are paying the coach to go and do the job. And so they must act and act well. The good things you said about those things, you have to find something good to say about the Black Stars too. Ghanaians, we are full of these things. Every day ours is bad. Every day ours. So with this kind of mentality, how can we achieve good things? See what you said about Panama. See what you said about Croatia. The things you said about England. When it comes to the Black Stars, we should know our expectations. These things, they also don't have problems. These teams also have problems. Do you know what they are also saying about our team in their country?
The voice of sports.
They are also saying good things about our country, but we are here saying bad things about us, but you are saying good things about them. Oh, these things we should stop. We should stop these things. Some of us will not lower our expectations. We are paying them to go and do the job, and they can do the job. This is what we say that dwindles our hopes all the time, and it is bad. Some of these things are bad. We don't have to do these things. We don't have to do these things. Then, like as I said, with all these sermons you have given this morning, the best thing for us to do is to script right to FIFA that we are out of the competition. That's the best thing to do so that we don't go and waste our money.
Right.
Have a good morning.
Right. Have a good morning, John. Thanks for your call as well. 0542571061. 0542571061. You see, this one, it is democracy. Good morning to you. Your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Mr.
Yes, sir.
My name is Lam. I'm calling from Spinter.
Let's hear you.
It's good for talking this way. But it really help us really tackling earlier if you go clean and perform badly. Because with this group, we cannot say we will not qualify. To the extent that there's already a third best. With this group, it's really easy for us to qualify. But with this squad, I have been saying this for a very long time. This squad is a squad that can win us an AFCON or be in the final of an AFCON and a quarter final of World Cup. It's not a bad squad. And our coaching is bad. We don't have a good coach who, in difficult games, will bring some tactics and things to change things. That's our only problem. So it's good for us to be thinking this way. Because fix everything that we face. And when he come back and he couldn't beat any of them, then he will explain to us the reason why he couldn't beat them. Easier.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. 0542571061. 0542571061. Good morning to you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Raymond.
Yes, sir.
This is Nyamador from Kofi Adams.
Anake, let's hear you.
I think Ghana should do well in the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Because Otuado have an experience. He was the one who took us to the last World Cup. So he has an experience of what the World Cup entails. Some of the players are also experienced. They have also played the World Cup before. So for me, I expect us to do well.
Mm-hmm.
If 32 teams have to qualify for the next stage, I don't expect Ghana to fail. We definitely have to find a way around it. It's a tournament. It's not a league. So we can plan our team very well and qualify from the group. So I think we have to do well. The coach, we pay them, so they must perform. We have to do well. We cannot lower our expectations for these guys. We expect them to do well, regardless of whatever group they find themselves. Because we have seen teams that are not really good. They don't really have the material as the top teams, but with a proper plan and strategy, they always find a way around their game. So, Otuado have an experience. Some of the players have an experience. We are not going there as debutants. We have been to the World Cup for about 4 times now, and our next appearance will be 5.
Yeah.
So we have an experience. We just have to plan well, have a strategy. But if 32 teams are to qualify for the next round and Ghana fails to qualify, then Otuado have no business being our coach.
Right.
He has to leave. So me, I would not do all my expectations.
This is Sports
We fall in that group because of our performances. So we have to, prove a point. I mean, yes, we should find a way. At least 4 points can qualify us from that group.
Yeah.
So, yes, Ghana have to qualify. We have to, find a way to qualify. That's my thing.
Right. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on the show this morning. 0542-571061. 0542-571061. Good morning to you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, Raymond, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is John.
John, let's hear you.
Yeah, Raymond, we're supposed to qualify because this group is a manageable group that is supposed to qualify. And Raymond, we're supposed to call some players. We have some players that we're supposed to call them. So I think we're supposed to do better so that we can qualify from our group. And to Raymond, Mohamed Salah is not treating Liverpool good at all. Mohamed Salah. Raymond, what Mohamed Salah is doing is very, very bad. Because if you remember, because of Mohamed Salah, we throw Sadio Mane away. Because of Mohamed Salah, that's why we throw Sadio Mane away. So Mohamed Salah is he's being too personal. He's always fighting for himself. Understand? So I think he become better. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for your time on the show this morning. And I'll pick my final call. Because we have to get to other matters on the show. Good morning to you. Your name and where are you calling?
Hello.
Good morning to you. Your name and where are you calling us from?
Good morning. I am Kobe calling from Teshminga.
Right, Kobe, let's hear you.
The previous caller was talking about talking good about the country and all that. If there is nothing good to say, should we force it? It's not about being an optimist, but me, I'm a realist. I say it as it is. I don't conjure good things and say good things about things if there is no good thing to say about. At least the likes of England and the Croatians and Panama and all that, managers of their teams have seen the weaknesses of their teams and solved it over time. What have we done? We are going to take a rookie, a trainer scout, as the head coach of our senior national team. Does it say we are serious? We are a bunch of jokes. We've gone for an inexperienced coach as the head coach of your senior national, not even your junior team, your senior national team, and not just any small team. One Black Stars, one of the best teams on the continent. Are you serious? That screams you are not serious. A very wooden-headed decision, complete with preposterous. It's serious. But me, going forward, I always say you don't need a galaxy of stars to win a match. You just need a good coach who can assemble the players and make good use of the players. A good coach can always make a bad player. A good coach can make a bad player look like a superstar, right? A good coach can make an ordinary player look like a superstar. A bad coach can always also make a good player look ordinary. Look at the likes of Alexander Isak playing in Newcastle. It was like a superstar. But since he moved to Liverpool, look at the way ordinary he has been. So I think going forward, to me, the technical staff, there are two places. If we want to go to the World Cup and do very well at the World Cup, there are two places we must take particular attention to: the technical staff, and the playing body. To me, the technical staff, is not good enough. To me, we can maintain Desmond Ofe. I think he has shown prospects that he can be a good coach.
Right.
But to me, John Pencil and Otuado, we must show them the exit. If we only want to go to the World Cup and not just show up, but show up and do well, I think John Pencil and Otuado should be shown the exit. And someone like Akwesi Appiah or the current Malian coach, we can go for them. If we want to go to the World Cup and do well, we must also take particular attention to the player collapse. The likes of the Abdul Mumin, the Jeffrey Schnopps, the Outlaws. I don't know why Osman Bukhari is not being called. I don't know why. He's such a great player. The Osman Bukharis, the Bernard Menses, and which can bring them on board to augment this team and make it better. Because you must have squad depth going into the World Cup. Anything can happen when it comes to competition. There can be red cards, there can be injuries and all that. But your bench must be as good as your first 11. So in case of any injuries and all that, if there is any replacement, the player that will be coming to replace the injured player should be as good as the one leaving. So it wouldn't affect the performance of the team going forward.
Right.
So if only we want to go and do well, we must. But you're a Dallas boy, right?
Yeah.
I'm also a Dallas boy.
Oh, okay.
What year did you complete Dallas?
Oh, somewhere in 2000.
Then you are my elder brother's mate.
Oh, okay. Right.
This be what year in junior, bro.
Oh, okay. So Joseph Wadia. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks
you very much for joining us on the show this morning.
Okay.
Right, this is still Sporty Breakfast live on Sporty 106.1 in Accra, 102.5 in Takoradi, and 91.3 in Kumasi. We'll open the phone lines a bit later on in the show. But I told you we were going to have an exclusive interview with the Honorable Sports Minister. And I'm pleased to inform you that the Honorable Sports Minister has joined us. And we'll be taking his thoughts on the Black Stars draw and a few other matters, concerning sports. He's been away for a while. He's back, so he'll tell us what he brought from Korea. There was a little discussion on doping there. In fact, a very big discussion on doping in sports. He'll bring us up to speed on everything that happened at that particular conference. And it's a good time to introduce my guest and kick off the conversation. Honorable Kofi Adams is the Minister for Sports and Recreation. He's joined us on the show this morning. Honorable, good morning to you and welcome to Sporty Breakfast.
Good morning, Raymond, and thanks for inviting me.
It's good to see you. Let me tell listeners, Honorable is a bit under the weather, and so pardon him for his slightly droopy voice. It's all part of the job. Honorable, I wish you a speedy recovery.
Thanks for letting the listeners and viewers know that I'm a little under the weather. When you mentioned South Korea, everybody knows that is a cold zone. And for someone who lives in hot conditions like this to just go and appear under such a condition, you surely suffer more. And so I've been under the weather. But let me say a big thank you for the opportunity, for the invitation to share with the people. And exactly that is what, when we say constitutional multi-party democracy, that is what it means. And we live in the world of information. Yeah. And so people given responsibility must share that information with the people they have been mandated to lead. And if His Excellency the President, a year ago today, was declared as having won the elections with a huge margin, a margin that has never been recorded, found it necessary to put me in charge of sports and recreation sector, then it means that I have a responsibility from time to time to share with listeners. And if there is any other platform that you do so, then you must do so on a platform that has dedicated itself 24/7 to have a conversation around the sector that you lead. And people don't understand. That is why I mostly choose to share with you, and not for any reason, it doesn't mean that sometimes we will not have our downs and we will not have our lows. We will have our lows, we will have our downs, but we would have our ups also. And Sporty FM has greatly contributed significantly to the advancement of sports development and sports for development in this country and beyond. And I must admit so.
Right. All right, well, let's start from South Korea, because you just came back from South Korea. You attended the World Conference on Doping in Sport. What were some of the discussions that were had and some key takeaways from that conference?
Well, it's the biggest platform when it comes to clean sports. It started, I'm told, in 1999 that it became necessary for the world to come together and have to unify their doping rules. And doping simply means taking external substances to enhance performance. Yeah. So we expect an athlete to perform. Whatever output we get from an athlete should be as a result of his own normal strength, his own normal muscular strength, exercise, training, and not because the person has added an external substance that gives you a certain advantage, a certain strength that otherwise, under normal circumstances, normal training, you will not be able to perform that way. So the concept of doping or anti-doping is just to make sure that sports is clean, competition is clean and fair. Countries and zones had their own rules until 1999, when they thought that there's a need to harmonize these rules, since we go for international competitions. We go for world competitions. People will come from the Americas. People will come from the Africas. People will come from Europe. And people will come from Asia, Oceania zone, and so on and so forth. And because the rules were different, when you get to the world level, whose rules will apply?
Yeah.
So there will be confusion amongst the national anti-doping offices or organizations, the regional anti-doping organizations, and of course the world anti-doping agencies. So there will be confusion. So it became necessary to have this body to harmonize the rules. And since 1999, the conferences of this nature have happened. Then the one we had in Busan in South Korea happens once every 6 years, but it's been reviewed now to happen once every 3 years. But there are other conferences. UNESCO leads some, sometimes have annual and even quarterly meetings and what have you. WADA itself have other meetings, but the one we attended recently that approves rules and codes that will be applied all the way to the National Anti-Doping Agency, like we have in Ghana here. We have Ghana Anti-Doping Agency. They are responsible for issues of what? Doping. Yes. His Excellency the President have just appointed the Chief Executive Officer and the Deputy for the National Anti-Doping Agency. So we kind of approved the codes. We looked at standardization. We looked at the finances, previous expenditures, executive committee rules that they brought for the board's approval. So it was executive committee also met, and the foundation board also met. And I happen to be one of the persons on the foundation board, so I needed really to be there. From Africa, it's Ghana. It used to be Ghana, Egypt, and then I think Tanzania. But Egypt will be ending their tenure in January 2026. So another country has been nominated to carry on. Ghana's tenure ended earlier, but I was given the opportunity to serve another term again. And so we will continue. A lot happened there, and I believe that as the days roll on, the National Anti-Doping Agency, the Ghana Anti-Doping Agency will see through to implement all those things, especially education. You see, most athletes fall foul for lack of education. Some of them do not know that the substance that they are taking, even sometimes medications that may be prescribed, could result in some substances being found in your blood. And that is why we also have what we call therapeutic use exemption list, where if they are giving you those substances recommended, you would have to check and see whether it's on the exemption list and whether you have submitted to your National Anti-Doping Agency for them to look at the prescription that you are being given, so you don't fall foul of the doping rules. So education is the key way to go. So athletes will have to be given so much education for them to have understanding of what doping in sports is, so they don't fall foul of the codes, I won't say law, of the codes and standards that have been set for them to compete under.
Now, how far are we from having our own doping systems restructured? I know there's a doping bill that is in advanced status. How close are we to?
So we've had the bill passed into law. So now we have an Anti-Doping Act, which has been passed. So we're working on the regulation now that will actualize the act that is being worked on. But even before then, there was a secretariat that was leading the charge. But we need to now even move further. Proper budget allocations have been made in the 2026 budget. For example, the National Anti-Doping Agency has been considered in our budget lines, properly so supported with goods and services allocation and other allocations to enable them function effectively. So I believe that in the coming years, we will see a lot more when it comes to doping, especially education and testing. The testing to make sure that at least we standardize our processes. So anytime you go into a competition, you know that the competition is clean, it's fair, it's transparent, not only from the refereeing perspective. Most times we want to talk about, oh, the referee has done this one has done that. We don't also talk about even the athletes themselves also, whether they are under the influence of any substance or not. Yeah. And especially also as we prepare for the World Cup, we need to be a little bit more serious about issues of doping in sports. Yeah. The Olympics will also come up in 2028. The Commonwealth Games will also be coming up. African Games will also come up, and so on. And there are a number of games that will be coming up. Ghana will be hosting the Athletic Championship, African Athletic Championship next year, and so we'll be competing in that also. So many things that we need to do in that sector. But I think that we're going to go very far with the appointment of the first Chief Executive Officer and the Deputy, and the constitution of the Board of Governors also. We will be able to push very, very far.
Now, Honorable, speaking about the World Cup, the draw was held last Friday. Were you able to watch the draw?
Yeah, I watched.
Okay. So let's get into the draw. England, Panama, Ghana, Croatia. I know Ghanaians want to hear your take on. You have been very optimistic about the chances of the Stars. Even spoken about the fact that the Stars could possibly even win the World Cup if things go well. What's your take on
you see,
the World Cup draw?
Football generally in these days have advanced. There is no nation that you describe as, oh, for them, they are they. Yes, FIFA still have this rule of seeding because you would have to play from groups, and so they must arrange it based on some kind of assessment that they have done, that okay, these guys have won this a number of times, they have this level of friendlies that they have played, they have won at their continental level, they've done this, they've done that, and so they use all those things to rank whom the host idea. So they have to seed some teams, but it doesn't mean that the unseeded ones are equally not good and strong. Even those who are still involved in playoffs, they haven't qualified, or they didn't qualify through the normal competition within group. They are now still waiting for the next opportunity for them to have playoffs. Some of them still have about a game or two to be very clear that they are joining the other teams that have already qualified. Even they, you cannot exclude them. They have every chance to also make a claim at the World Cup. So the same with Ghana. It's about preparation, the understanding of the game, the discipline that you take to the pitch, and how you execute. That's all that will make the difference. And so I was not really worried about who we meet and who we don't. Well, I wished we meet teams that we are familiar with, like amongst them, England. I'm happy we are meeting them. I'm happy they are in our group. And so it wakes everybody up. It wakes everybody up not because we cannot beat them, but it increases your preparation level. That you come in against a very strong seeded team. But this is a team also that you have played against many of their players either at the club level or at other levels. And so you, to some large extent, you know them. So it's good. It's a big team, but you know them. You have the understanding. Croatia, everybody knows how dangerous they have been at the various World Cups that they have featured. Their game style is every time they come with something unique. And so you must approach such a team not with the mindset that they have a certain style of play, that you go and read them how they played previously, and therefore you go into the game only with that plan. You come against such a team and knowing that your formation may even change. So you, the technical bench, must equally be smart and luckily, we are not coming against Croatia as the first team. So your scouts will do a lot of work for you. Your video analyst, in this case, will do a lot of, they will gather a lot of information, their previous engagements, and to make sure that at least they prepare you on some of their dangerous moves, and then the players to spot and so on and so forth, and what you should do. But even then, once you are playing them, they are a team that can change their style within the 90 minutes of play, sometimes about 3-4 times. So you'd have to watch. Of course, Panama, not much is known of them. And when you have a team that you don't know much of them also, it becomes a worrying thing. So we are good. I'm okay with the group. All we need to do is to have player discipline. The call-up must be disciplined. We must call up the best, as I've always insisted, that I'm the minister, and so my public comments should be very, very limited. But my position is that I want to back a technical team that will want to position the best for the country. Right. I'm not emotionally attached to any player or anything. You would hear emotional comments. Oh, these persons didn't take part in the qualifiers, or they played only one game, or they did this. Those are emotional things. It's allowed. In football, as I always say it, 75-80% is emotions. Right. That is why somebody can be playing his game somewhere and losing, and another person is dying in another continent. Yeah. It's because we attach emotions to the game. So a lot of it is emotional. But you need to also have the technical capabilities and the right sense of judgment to be able to say that, no, if I go with this, I'll be able to satisfy better the emotional expectation of the followers, rather than maybe, maybe you call this person, the person didn't respond in the past, and so door is shut. No, I don't believe in that. I believe that the country must go with its best. Yeah. Wherever we find it, the coach has my support. Whoever is responsible for the team will have my support. Mine is to make sure that I join the coach in explaining why it should be A, B, and C. Once he convinces me that this is what he wants to go with. Of course, training, we must make sure that we give them the best of training, and we must give them the best of support. Because if participating in that level for me is not just the kicking of the ball, chasing the ball for the 90 minutes. It does a lot for every country. The biggest gathering in the world is the World Cup. That's the biggest. That's what brings the highest number of eyeballs. Indeed, many countries' activities seriously comes down, and the focus is just on that game. So if you are part of the 48 that will be assembling there, don't see it just as kicking of the ball, 90 minutes play that you are going to do. Even those who didn't qualify will be taking advantage of what happens there. So let's put in as much as we can. The corporate world should come on board. It should not be only government responsibility. No. Government alone has never done it. Government alone has never done sports, and it has succeeded. Government can create an enabling environment. Government will create the foundation. But it is individuals and corporates that makes it happen. The football we enjoy watching in Europe, in the Americas, the MLS, you go to South Africa also, and so on and so forth. It is because the private sector has put in. Government will create the enabling environment. That is what this government is working so hard at doing. Yeah. Whether it is tax incentives, whether it is transparency in the handling of finances and affairs and decision-making process. We want to give the corporate world that. We want to give the fans that. And we will not keep anything away from them. And I, as a minister, will not come and make any promise that I think is just to tease people and make them happy. So people don't like me sometimes because they feel that I'm too frank, I say what is supposed to be and not what they want to hear. But we'll have to do that in order to be able to encourage other persons to come on board.
Right. Honorable, let's stay with the support. And talking about support, the Minister of Finance in his last budget declared that some 150 million Ghana cedis was going to be made available for the Black Stars World Cup campaign. Can you take us through a bit of what that 150 is supposed to do? Because a lot of people were alarmed by the number.
So in 2022, when we went to Qatar, the budget for the Black Stars participation in that World Cup was about 14 point something million dollars.
Okay.
That excluded the training rounds that they did. That was about another 1.2 million. So that was what was the basis on which this figure was prepared, considering the management of the dollar and then the CD hovering around 12 and 12 point something. The 150 million should give us virtually the same figure as was used, as was budgeted to be used in Qatar. So, as I sit here, I can say that 150 million may not be enough if we are truly going to prosecute the agenda all the way to the finals. This is because this World Cup is not being hosted in just one country. This World Cup is being hosted in 3 different countries. And even at the group stage, we are already playing 1 game in Canada and playing 2 in America.
Yeah.
It means that movement in terms of logistics will be more. As compared to Qatar, where it was just 1 country, or in South Africa, it was 1 country, or in Germany, it was just Germany, or Brazil, it was just Brazil. In this case, you are going to be moving. So logistical movement of additional staffs that you are responsible for, not the ones FIFA is taking. FIFA will take care of some cost.
Yeah.
So there's FIFA cost. I'm talking about what, as a participating country, you will be responsible for will be more.
That's good.
Because you'll be moving to Canada in Toronto. After that, you have to move to Boston, and then you move from Boston to Philadelphia to conclude your group stage. Then you move to the round of 32, then to 16, and so on and so forth. So the cost may be more. 2, the unit cost of various head points for which the 2022 budget was done will be higher in America and Canada than it was in Qatar, because a lot of things were subsidized for that World Cup. You will not have the same happening in America, and even if FIFA tries to negotiate and provide what we call FIFA hotels rate, it will still not be lower than Qatar. It will surely be higher than Qatar, because Qatar came in wanting to help the world. So they did a number of things and subsidized a number of things. That will not be happening. So if our agenda is to prosecute all the way to the end, we may be asking for even more. But I'm happy that at least for a start, we have given this baseline support to the team, to enable the team and the technical team, and everybody knows that, look, we are ready. As you work and progress, we would make sure that we get to sort things, to get things all through. So that allocation is for the team.
Okay.
There's not been any allocation whatsoever for sending funds. No.
Okay.
That allocation doesn't even make provision for even me, like a minister, who is supposed to also go with the team, and other ministry technical persons who may have to go with the team. That it doesn't make provision for that. It's just the team.
Okay.
The Black Stars management is. We can, however, make some savings also within. My cuttings that we've been doing, there are still some lines that I've seen there that we could drastically look at, either taking off completely or bringing down the figures that are involved. If we are able to do so through our engagements, then I believe that that allocation, even if the cost of things is high in Canada and America, we can still survive and sail through with that allocation the finance minister has given to the Black Stars participation in the World Cup.
Now, Honorable, you've made calls to corporate Ghana to come on board and support as we seek to make an impact at the World Cup. How far has that call gone? Have you received any support so far? Are they making any pledges?
Well, information has been quite, I must say, scanty for now, because the committees were just inaugurated. I inaugurated the technical committee, and the chief of staff inaugurated the ministerial oversight committee. So the committees are now working. We are actually working virtual. We've not had our in-person meetings yet, and so this week we need to be doing that, and then to harmonize the information that has come. But there's been quite some good interest from some individuals and corporates. Some owners of businesses have shown some interest. So we need to just have a way of harmonizing and making sure that at least there's clarity on what they are doing, who is doing what, and what Ghana is participating in, and what Ghana is going to get out of this participation, and what those who even want to help themselves may also get out for either their businesses or whatever the reason for which they want to support the national team is. So, but it's scanty yet. We haven't had any serious pledge in terms of amount that we are giving this, but there are positive indications. And we will be informing the country and everybody as we roll on. There's not going to be any secrecy at any level. Okay. If this is the support that we got, this is what is going to support the team, this is what is going to support maybe fans to be able to either travel there to watch the game and enjoy it, or whatever condition will be created back at home for people to be able to follow and have a feel of the Mundial. All those things will be made known, and that is why for the first time I recommended the establishment of all these committees, so it doesn't become just the sports minister's decision that this is what I want to do, that's what I want to do. No, when we put heads together, we'll be able to have a properly well-coordinated World Cup participation ever.
Now, Honorable, with the committees that have been put together, so there's one that's a technical committee and there's one that's an oversight committee. Take us through what each committee is supposed to do, so that it doesn't look like
it's not just these two committees that will work. There will be a number of subcommittees. Okay. There will be a number of subcommittees that will work. The technical committee is made up of chief directors and directors of ministries that we identified as very relevant and critical in the World Cup participation. For example, we see World Cup as opportunity to push our trade and investment even higher. Okay. So you can't do without Ministry of Trade, Industry and Agri-Business, because it's opportunity. The world is gathering. The world will be watching. So how do you take advantage of the gathering of the world in the Americas to sell and convince people that after this World Cup, when you are making decisions as to where to invest, Ghana should be the place to go? Or after this World Cup, we also are preparing this product. As a result of this investment we have done, we will be getting this output, and we are looking for customers. So we are targeting you as one of our customers. So you can't do without trade. Yeah. The world is gathering. People are going to be collecting together, and so many things would happen. You can't do without health. So the Ghana Health Services is a critical component. We have them in there. Issues of security, both at home and whilst even you are there, because during the World Cup, people will gather. Some may even leave their homes just to go to fan zones points to go and watch. Who is providing security? So the Ministry of Interior. Yeah. fake accounts will be created and money is collected from people, and they will become issues for investigations and what have you. So you need the Ministry of Interior and the security agencies to play a role. So the head there, in terms of the technical head there, is quite critical. So they will see how to coordinate. You talk about Ministry of Finance. We just talked about funding and other things that must be done. Maybe an entity wants to support. The entity needs A, B, C, D to be done. Finance is key, so Finance Ministry is represented. You would have Foreign Affairs, because travels are going to be involved. Yeah. People will need travel documentation to be able to travel to those countries. It's not like maybe within West Africa or Africa, where all you need is to have means of transport and you are going. No, you need visas. So, and when you arrive, you need some protocol arrangement. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is key. So the technical heads of that ministry would have to be part, so they can guide the various processes. So this technical committee is made up of these key ministries: Ministry of Tourism, and Culture and Creative Arts, because sports is a major means through which you sell your culture, you sell your tourism attraction, and what have you. The creative arts industry also get a platform to promote themselves through performances that you could do there, and through other performances that you will learn from. So the Ministry of Tourism is key in there. Of course, the Sports Ministry itself is the mother ministry. So these are persons from these and some other backgrounds, sports background, investment backgrounds, have been put together as the technical committee that will give the necessary detailed advice, see that all the I's are dotted where they must be dotted, all the T's are crossed where they must be crossed. Then we have the ministerial oversight committee that responds to cabinet, and because we sit in cabinet also, conversation around our World Cup participation, they would also take it up from there and see to it that every other committee is doing what they are supposed to do, including the technical committee that will deal with sports development and enhancement, teams' technical performance. We need to know friendlies, how many friendlies have been arranged for the team and where. How are we mobilizing to pay for? How are we doing all the technical things that are needed? What is the coach asking for? How can we meet what the coach is asking for in terms of the technical strength? Okay, players that are being sorted for. Is there any need for something to be done? So this oversight committee would also need to be briefed by the technical committee, not the ministerial technical committee that was done, but I mean in terms of the team itself. Yeah. So we are going to have a committee that will be responsible for that. That the FA will, of course, lead that process, because they are the ones we have given our national team for them to manage for us. So I cannot pretend to know more than them, but I will also be deeply involved, because at the end of the day, I'll represent the people directly. So these are the things. There will be a promotional committee, promotional and investment subcommittee. There will be security committee. There will be, of course, transport, accommodation, health, welfare. So many other subcommittees will be done of various sizes of membership. We haven't reached a point where we will know the numbers that should be on each subcommittee and who should be on it. All these will be done, and then they would also start their work immediately. Now that the draw is over, we know where we will be. Everybody has started now blocking space in terms of accommodation and other training facilities and what have you. We too have our people on the ground doing so to make sure that at least we don't lose out.
Right. And this is still the Sporty Breakfast, and you're live on Sporty 106.1 in Accra, 102.5 in Takoradi, and 91.3 in Kumasi. And as always, this is Ghana's #1 sports morning show. the Sporty Breakfast. I'm having a conversation with the Honorable Sports Minister, the Minister for Sports and Recreation. Honorable Kofi Adams is here with us this morning, sharing his thoughts with us on a few very important matters concerning his ministry and the senior national team as well. And Honorable, let's continue the discussion. Let me stay a bit on the fans, because once the draw came out, Ghanaians have started dreaming about going to Canada, dreaming about going to USA, and when we get to a point like this, there's always room for people to get exploited. There's always room for people to promise all sorts of things and get people swindled and all. What advice do you have for Ghanaians right about now, as the committee sits down to map up modalities with regard to support for funds and all? What advice do you have for Ghanaians right at this moment that we know where we are going?
Raymond, the straight advice is that don't advance money to anybody in the name of trying to provide you any protocol for World Cup, for you to get opportunity to travel for the World Cup. That's my number one advice to people. My first advice. Advance money to somebody that you know the person is into professional, maybe travel and tour arrangement, that you are doing so because you trust this person, that he or she have the capacity to be able to aid you to have your travel documentation. Not because somebody has told you that we are doing some protocol arrangement and government is going to do this, and so when you give me this, I will be able to put you in or do that arrangement for you. My first, primary, basic advice to persons. So you don't go and commit your money to someone and later on you will be complaining. The other one is that Facebook, especially Facebook messengers, these days they are even able to clone numbers and do WhatsApp chats and then the rest. But the basic one that people still fall foul for, which is Facebook, is what is worrying. That a Facebook page is created or account is created, and maybe they put a nice image of the sports minister and write the sports minister's name and all the details that you may not even know about the sports minister. They are able to collect it and they put it in here. But they even put your place of birth and schools you attended and everything in there. And then they will go and chat you in Messenger. Then people see that, but this is the name, Kofi Adams is there. The picture is there, so I'm chatting Kofi Adams. Then you say, okay, talk to my protocol officer. Then they will give you a number and do everything with, and they will be on you quickly. If you don't pay, you will lose the opportunity. And people rush and go and make payments. Then later, before they will look for your number, they didn't wait to look for your number to call you then, when they realize that they have been duped. And they will even say that they have been duped. Now they will start putting on other platforms that the minister has duped them or the minister's PA have duped them, when the minister and his people know nothing about that. So I want to advise people to deal with genuine. Look, the ministry have an existing office. The committee have so been announced. Every information will be putting it out there. Okay. That was why I said the last time that if you don't hear it from Sporty FM, then it means that first have a doubt. You must hear it on a respected platforms, not what you read from somebody's page on Facebook and the rest. So Ghanaians who want to go and participate in the World Cup, either to support the national team or just to participate, we all have a right to go. And that is why we have insisted on the countries that agree to host the World Cup that you have to relax some of your rules. Your security is important. Provide that security internally. But you cannot be demanding of fans that want to travel certain deep demands that I may be a sports fan and I may not have any tie to anybody. So because I don't have a tie to anybody, and I'm not married, I don't have kids in Ghana here, so I shouldn't go and watch the World Cup, something that gives me maybe joy. America believes in recreation.
Yeah.
America believes in rights of persons, and right to recreate is a right that must be respected. So you cannot continue to put so much restriction on persons who want to go and watch the World Cup. You must show proof of this, proof of that, proof of this, proof of that. Certain things must be relaxed because the person is not just going there. It's because the game that we all love is coming to your country.
Yeah.
So we've all been demanding from these countries, not necessarily their embassy, because the American embassy in Ghana cannot on their own make a decision to vary certain things. It must come from the mother office. It must come from the mother office. So we are engaging, and they are also engaging. Recently, the President of the United States of America made some announcements, which we thought was forward-looking, that they will fast-track the processing of visa application of persons who prove that they have match tickets.
Yeah.
Not flight ticket, match ticket. So FIFA will soon open the site for sale of tickets. I think it's going to go Thursday the 10th.
Yeah, 11th
is going to, so you can go on site there, buy as many tickets as you want to buy for your games and your family, and that becomes a foundation. It doesn't mean that immediately you have it, you will get visa, no, but it becomes a foundation. So for those who want to, this is the first step. This is the first step. So in the past, maybe it used to be the country is allocated some tickets, and therefore they use that to be able to facilitate. Now changes have come in. So many of those who may be calling on Sports Minister and the rest that do this for us, do that for us, there's a basic, I don't have funds at this moment to go on and to purchase tickets.
Yeah.
We don't know the arrangement for bulk ticket purchasing, if there is any, because that was one of the questions that I asked when they introduced that system, that people must prove and must buy from directly from FIFA. Not that you bought from Wanda or Efa or from Raymond. And so I asked them the question, what system are they putting in place such that Raymond alone cannot go and buy bulk tickets and to resell at a higher price? Because when it happens that way, the only other place I can get tickets from is to buy from Raymond. You too, you are saying if I buy from Raymond, you don't recognize it. Yeah. I must buy directly from FIFA. So what systems are you putting in place? So a company cannot go and hijack millions of tickets. So I'm yet to get a proper answer from them, but I do know that we will continue the conversation, and it's been positive so far. And so fans should be assured that what must be done as governments and their representatives when it comes to sports and sports-related matters, when it comes to issues of foreign affairs and diplomatic-related matters, we are doing everything possible to make sure that we have an enjoyable World Cup, and fans who want to go, who have the means to be able to go, there's a facilitation to help them attend.
Now, Honorable, let's talk about infrastructure. You've been touring a couple of facilities ever since you took charge. Last time you were at the Esipon Sports Stadium. What's the plan? What's the plan for the renovation of that facility?
Well, the intentions, if you see clearly from His Excellency the President, is to try and have as much as possible sports infrastructure dotted across the country, so that talents cannot sit only on the how do you call it, media platforms, or you cannot only have the talent just on paper. The talent you have, you must execute it on the ground. And the field on which you play, the infrastructure that you use for training matters a lot. It matters how far you can go and how low you can stay. So the President has every good intention and structures in place for infrastructure development. This year, budget now was presented last year and into further reviewed this year, did not make provision for capex as far as our ministry was concerned.
Okay.
We were given 0 CDs for capex. So we only had provision for goods and services and also emoluments, compensation, salaries. So we did not have any allocation whatsoever to do any infrastructure. So the renovations that we did for some of the facilities to make sure that our teams kept playing at home and the rest came out of either some arrangements that we did internally with companies to help, or from our goods and services budget we were able to push through to get some works done. However, for next year, we've had some allocation of 270 million Ghana cedi for infrastructure.
Okay.
Amongst the key ones that we would have to do is to have some mini stadia located in 3 regions that do not have any at all for the meantime. And when we say mini stadia, it's not a stadia that are so big. Okay. Like, for example, if you go to Hohwe today, the Hohwe United team is playing their league games in their field.
Yeah.
That's a mini stadium. It's useful enough for even premiership games. We don't need a stadium for like a CAF higher level competition. Big, no. We need a facility that will not be so expensive for the local teams in that area to be able to use. Because if you go and build a big facility also, if you don't take care, the Division 1s, Division 2s, Division 3s, which are dotted across the country, cannot even hide those venues and pay to use.
Yeah.
So the idea is to start with facilities that are easily available and could be utilized by the division 1, even up to Division 3 and Premiership. So we want to do these ones, about 3, located in regions that do not have any at all. We need to give them such facility. Then we also will want to continue with the AstroTurf projects, but this time around we want to also introduce natural grass system and improved it slightly. We can't continue, even if we have to do the synthetic grass or what we have come to describe as the AstroTurf or what we call it. It must be of high quality. It must not be something that will be injurious to the players, the athletes, when they use it. We also, this infrastructure that we are talking about as mini stadium will come with other facilities for athletics and other sports like volleyball, basketball, and what have you. So it's not just going to be football only. So that's going to be the difference, because we want to, ours is sports, not just football. So next year, we would go to have some of this infrastructure comes up. So athletes, for example, will have tracks, proper tracks to train on, not to be running and then you are doing 100 meters and you are doing on undulative surfaces with potholes all over. You want to complete a 100-meter race in a certain short time. You are also minded about where your feet is hitting, because there are holes if you don't take care. So it surely will delay your performance. And so we want to improve this infrastructure also.
Now, Honorable, there hasn't been too much talk about the youth resource centers that were started by the previous government. Are there plans for some of these facilities to be fully operationalized?
Yes, there are plans. And you know that those centers were funded from the allocations from the District Assembly Common Fund to the National Youth Authority. That was the funding source upon which the idea was consummated for the construction of those youth resource centers. Albeit so much is owed to the contractors and not much commitment was shown. Now that the National Youth Authority is no more under the Sports Ministry, it's been moved to the Youth Development and Empowerment Ministry. And so that funding has also moved with them. Okay. So it is no more. That is why you don't hear my conversation so much around it. But the intention is a matter that we have raised at higher level. Okay. Whether government should look for some new funding source and take those projects off the National Youth Authority and put them under the Ministry of Sports and Recreation for completion, or let the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment know that this funding source is intended for the completion of this. So complete them, and when they are completed, they are handed to the Sports Ministry to manage, because these are basically sports facility. They are more sports facility than any other thing. So the idea was to utilize the funds allocation from the Disassembly Common Fund to the National Youth Authority, because at that time it was Ministry of Youth and Sports. Now it's Sports and Recreation. So we need to look for a new funding model if we want to keep the development of those infrastructure under the Sports Ministry, or we insist that the Youth Development Ministry completes them, because it's supposed to be completed over a certain budget cycle. Though we have long passed that time and funds were not allocated, let's find the funds, finish it, and then hand it over to the Sports Ministry for management.
Well, the budget for 2026, we know, compared to the previous budget, has quite a bit of money in there. Are you satisfied with the budgetary allocation this time around compared to what you received in the last year?
Well, clearly speaking, if you sit at the Sports Ministry and you know the levels of expenditure that goes on there, you would straight away say what you have been given cannot do even half the work that you are expected to do. But the question is, if you did this with just what you did this year, with just 65 million allocation, then if you are giving over 500 now, then you should know that you will be able to do a little more. Okay. And so I'm happy for that. But it doesn't mean that it means that kumbaya, everything has arrived and you are able to do everything and everything. We would manage. We would be able to do something. Take, for example, the original, I would say original idea of that I had of big stadium. If you take the TNA stadium in Takwa, for example, at the time of construction, it was a little over $15 million. I asked the same people who did the stadium to work out what it will cost now to construct and add tracks, running tracks and those things in, and then a multi-purpose court for volleyball and basketball. They gave me figures of about $22 million. If you change $22 million to cedis at the current rate of even 12 cedis, then you are talking roughly about 250 million or a little more thereabout. So if you are given 200 million to build 3 mini stadia, so straight away you know that you are not going to get the TNA type. Yeah. That was why in my earlier conversation I was linking you to what it is that we are going to be doing in terms of those 3, the type of stadia that we'll be working on. It doesn't mean that we do not have intentions to build 1 or 2 bigger size stadium. There are plans to build a 60,000 capacity Olympic stadium. Hopefully here in Accra again, and then build another big stadium elsewhere also. This is because we need to be aiming at bigger events that can, a facility that can take 60,000 or more when expanded. And so we have those plans, but that will be done on a PPP kind of arrangement, and so we're going to be working on that. In terms of big stadia, we already have quite a number that I think that renovation or refurbishment is what should be the whole idea to do. We should refurbish Babayara beyond what we are doing now. We should refurbish, finish Esipon. We should be able to do Aliu Mahama Stadium. We should be able to deal with Cape Coast, deal with TNA. My only worry is that FIFA is coming up with some rules. Here they have already approved, endorsed, that you cannot play FIFA-approved football games in a stadium that have running
athletics ovals,
tracks.
Yeah.
That have athletic ovals. You not so it's something that CAF. I was thinking that CAF should take a strong position on against, because you superintend over countries, many that do not have the resources and cannot construct separate stadia with athletic tracks and other stadia without, like we have for Accra sports stadium. It means that you have to do those types for football only, for FIFA sanctions, so you may have to have 2 or 3 of that.
Yeah.
If you ever dream of hosting FIFA approved events for football, you must have 2, 3 or 4 of the Accra type of stadia without tracks. And if you want to also promote your other sports, including athletics, you have to have the ones like the Cape Coast ones, and then the rest also, a number of them. Do we have the logistical base now to do all that? So FIFA must go slow on those arrangements for us.
Honorable, do we have, are we owing members of the technical team members of the Black Stars, or even the Black Stars players? Do we have outstandings that have to?
We don't owe any player any amount of money beyond the arrangement that was put in place, that their winning bonuses, they receive 50% when they win, and then the remaining 50% will be paid when the country receives some allocation from FIFA for qualifying. So now that we have qualified as a country, it means that for 8 games that we won during the qualifiers, we owe the players and the technical persons who so qualify for bonuses, we owe 50% of that. Okay. And those payments, as per the agreement, will be done when FIFA makes due their initial commitments to the participating team. That is yet to be done. So once it is done, we'll make those payments. Salary, we owe a number of months of salaries to some technical persons and coaches that we pay salaries, like the coach, the assistant coach, they receive salary. The rest, we don't pay them salary. So, but the head coach, for example, is paid 50% of salary in advance at start of year, and then the remaining 50% is paid along the line. So the head coach is owed only 50% of his salary over the months that we owe him. The 2 assistant coaches are owed full remuneration for the period because their contract specified differently. The goalkeeper's trainer is also owed. Yeah. And so then the Black Queens coach is owed. And I think these are the only coaches that we are responsible for. But we would meet with the FA to also know, because we do know that some sponsorship have also come in. Okay. And in the past, salaries have been paid from sponsorship. We know KGL funding of 20 million over a period is there. The KGL funds have been used in the past also to pay especially the Black Queens coach, and so the arrangement should not be any different from now. So we'll be meeting with the FA. We'll also look at the MTN funds that have sponsorship that have come in, how much of it has come, and what can be committed to pay the salaries of these coaches. So once the FA returns in full from the draw that they participated, it will going to be one of the meetings that we would have to organize, because the senior national team is not the property of the federation. It's the property of Ghana. So any sponsorship that arrives as a result of the national team should be managed under the financial rules of the country. And once that arrangement existed before they coming into the power of John Dramani Mohammed's administration, we don't think that anybody should take advantage of changing government to try to change the ways that we have done these things, especially that the for example, the MTN funding was not available, sponsorship was not available for some time. Now it has come in. So that has become an additional stream of funding. And so we should be able to clear this out as quickly as possible.
Right. I know government provided, or it was communicated that government provided support for this season's Ghana Premier League.
Yes.
So far, are you impressed with the work that has been done so far? Are you impressed with
Well,
competition?
there are still challenges that confront us in terms of quality of game and player retention, and because part of the idea was to be able to retain as many players as possible, but some clubs are still in good business of just parceling good players and sending them away, and others have not held due the remuneration of their players. Because, Chief, if you look at the past, sometimes you play your whole league, you don't get any sponsorship. The winner gets just about $1 million or $2 million. I don't know.
It's in the thousands.
Or about 500. The highest I think was about 500,000 for the winner. And you have a situation where, before start of league, 1 million Ghana cedi is given to you, and you still come up with the very same problems and challenges that confronted you when you were getting nothing. When the winner of the game was getting 500,000 Ghana cedi or less, I'm not satisfied. And I think that there's a lot of room for improvement for some of them. Some are doing quite well. I heard one of the teams that the players were threatened to boycott the games. They managed to resolve it as quickly as possible, and they are back. So I'm happy for that. But things like this should not happen. They should not happen. We want to see some improvement. We want them to take advantage and build strong fan base also. See, don't take your fans for granted. Don't make it look like, oh, we are playing. They are the ones who enjoy the game also, so it doesn't matter. No, the fans are part of the games. So take it as a serious department and develop a proper fan base and fan engagement. Because if you do that, look, Chief, even if the fans agree that we are going to commit 5 or 10 cedi every month to supporting our club, beyond the home game tickets that we will buy and away that we may follow, if they are going to commit 5 to 10 cedi, and you have a fan base of just even 10,000 fan base, serious fan base, and they are contributing 10 cedi, that means that every month you are getting what? 100,000. Every month you'll be getting 100,000. Yeah. So I want to encourage clubs to work, to recruit people to properly build a 10,000 fan base. This is minus the big ones like Haas and Kotoko, and those big ones, they can deal with hundreds of thousands. They have the capacity to do so. But even the smaller ones, start with 10,000 dedicated fan base. That will agree that, okay, every month we are contributing 10 cedi before your order. So that is 100,000 Ghana cedi to you every month.
Yeah.
So if your league will be played over maybe a 5 months or 6 month period, that will be another 600,000 that will come to you as revenue before the other sources. So as you do it, you build on. These 10,000 that you have now, that you started with, tell each of them to recruit one more.
Yeah.
Then when you dedicate and improve the 20,000, tell each of the 20,000 you to bring one more. So that is how clubs in Europe and the rest have built their bases. Let it come with some incentives. Get some businesses. Look, we went for a program where a car washing bay was sponsoring a team because they had a system in place where anytime the club won, the washing bay says, we wash cars of fans for half the price.
Okay.
So they were also getting businesses to do.
Yeah.
And part of the money that they make there, they also use it to support the club. And when people go to wash a car for 50% less when the team wins, they are likely to go back there again to wash for the full price because they have seen that person associate with their club. So if today you've won and I go and wash my car and I pay 5 cedi, the likelihood of coming there again maybe 2 times before another game and then pay 10 cedi, which is full, is high. So they have an arrangement that they support the club. So let's look at all these things and crack our brains. The marketing unit of various clubs must really crack their heads.
Honorable, finally, somewhere in November, we received reports that the president had ordered the Auditor General to conduct a comprehensive forensic audit into the organization of the 13th African Games. And according to that report, the details of the investigations, or they were given up to the second week of December to present audit findings to the president. How much work has the Auditor General done, and how close are we to meeting this deadline, if you have any information on that?
Well, I bumped into them a couple of times, and I asked them. They keep indicating to me that everything was going well. I'm yet to get a draft report from them, and so I would not want to comment so much on that. But I'm happy that the president did order for the forensic audit, because seriously speaking, so many things went wrong with the organization. You meet individuals who are involved, and this one is pointing accusing finger at this one is pointing accusing, meaning that they themselves admit that certain things were not done right, and people outside are talking. And every day I keep receiving requests of people threatening to sue for non-payment of this, for rendering this service, and they haven't paid. Meanwhile, there's no money sitting in the accounts as far as all that is concerned. At the African level, AUSC also, we haven't paid our commitments. They are also demanding of us, because we signed an agreement to pay some $1.65 million to host those games. We paid only 800 and something, and the rest we haven't paid. We're using Takashi and Patapa that we will not pay because of what. You can't deal with diplomacy that way. Ghana is a very highly respected country. Luckily, of course, we've had it captured in the budget. Our budget estimates now that when we get money, we would have to make that payment, because other countries are looking up to you, and you decide that you will not pay. Tomorrow, if they also learn from you and also decide that they will know how you're going to have the African Union and sports African Games function. So it's not the right way to do things. I'll wait for the draft report. Of course, I didn't authorize it, but as sector minister, I will surely have an in into what it is that they have found, the issues that mattered, items that were procured, where are they? During the All African Games, we procured so many things, including huge cooking utensils and what have you. Where are they? You can't even see one now. So there are so many things, furniture and a whole lot of things. So I'm even interested in also the draft report to find out whether the auditors were able to follow through all these things, or they just even looked at the document. So post these, if such areas were not also covered, we will demand for further work to be done. Accountability is primary in everything that we do. When given the opportunity, you must make sure you account. That is why me as minister, I don't allow anyone to push me to do things that may not be right, because tomorrow you will be called to come and answer.
Honorable, we would like to thank you for your time on the show this morning. Despite the fact that you are heavily under the weather, you still took time off your busy schedule to speak to us. Your final word to Ghanaians before?
Well, I wish to thank Ghanaians. I wish to thank them so much for the opportunity that they gave the NDC, and through electing His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and a number of us into Parliament. A year ago today, there was so much celebration across the country, and I believe that their decision has been justified. We have lived, try as much as possible to do what it is that we said we want to do. It's not 100% done yet, but we continue to need your prayers. If prayers work, His Excellency and his team needs your prayers, because we have good intentions. But we need your prayers to strengthen us to continue to be on the path that we are on. The senior national team needs your prayers. The women's team also went to England and faced their Lionesses, their counterparts there, and did very well. We didn't win, but I think that it was a respectable performance. We will continue to see improvement. Very soon in the course of the week, into next, the Youth African Olympics will be happening in Angola, and our teams will depart also, and we do hope that they would also come back with some laurels. It's been quite positive on the sports ecosystem through the support of Ghanaian fans and generally also funders. And so we want to ask for more. They should continue to do it. And let me also specially thank my constituents for the confidence that they've always reposed in me. We haven't done everything yet, but at least the path is very clear. You could see that leadership is taking steps to do what has been denied our constituency for a very long time. And so I thank them also for the support. May God bless us. May this year end well. May next year be even greater. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kofi Adams, for your time on the show this morning. And we have been speaking to the Honorable Sports Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kofi Adams. He's the Member of Parliament for the Buem constituency. He's taking time off his busy schedule to talk to us this morning on a few matters. Black Stars, Ministry of Youth and Sports, infrastructure development. He's been speaking to a lot of issues on the show this morning. Honorable, we thank you for your time, and hopefully would be getting Minister in a bit more often to bring us up to speed on the work of the committee as far as preparations for the World Cup is concerned. I know Ghanaians are very interested in the World Cup, so hopefully we'll be giving you more updates as the plans sink in as far as Ghana's participation at the World Cup. But Minister is very optimistic that the Stars will go to the World Cup and do well. Minister, that's correct?
Sure. Sure. We did well at the group stage, and we cannot do otherwise. I've seen some little forecasters that says that this and that, but I believe that the team will do well. We have what it takes. It's not as strong as we had in maybe 2010 or before, but I think that individually we have skillful players. The coach should be able to work out turning it into a team of players that will play very well.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Thank you.
What happened at the draw, which teams will be playing where, and which teams will be playing at next year's World Cup, what the groups look like. You see some very interesting groups in there, apart from Ghana's group. We'll talk about all of that on the show in a few minutes.
You're locked on to Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra, 91.3 FM in Kumasi, and 106.
to share his thoughts with us on the World Cup draw and other matters arising, concerning sports in Ghana. Last Friday, our men were on the ground. They were in the JFK Center for Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., and they brought us up to speed on everything that happened as far as the World Cup draw is concerned. And Emmanuel Ayamga, our man on the ground, put together a wrap of everything that happened at the Washington Center. Let's get into a bit of that, and we'll come back to discuss the draw itself, and then we'll get into the Ghana Premier League as well. So let's listen to Emmanuel Ayamga as he wraps up everything that happened at the JF Kennedy Center inside Washington, D.C.
On what was a snowy day in Washington, D.C., and under the hush of anticipation, fate dealt its hand once more as the world cast its eyes to the main hall of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. Countries were drawn, paths were cast, and in an instant, the quiet dreams of nations became real, with each ball that was rolled and unfurled when the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw unfolded. Ghana finds itself in the tricky Group L, alongside one-time World Cup winners England, 2018 finalists Croatia, and returnees Panama. The Black Stars will begin their campaign against Panama on June 17 in Toronto, before facing England and Croatia on June 23 and June 27 in Boston and Philadelphia respectively. Speaking to Sporty FM after the draw, Ghana coach Otuado said his side will be adopting a game-by-game approach, but was quick to add that the Black Stars can beat any team on their day.
We take it match by match. We want to win every match, this is for sure. And like I said, once we get a good start, then anything's possible. On a good day, I know we can beat everyone, but I know also we can lose against all of those teams, also Panama. We underrate them, so we have to be prepared well, and we will prepare ourselves well. We will study the last games of each on every team, and we see and we take a closer look on their strengths, but also their weaknesses, and try to prepare as fast as possible. I'm happy, especially for our fans in the East Coast of the USA, that they will be able to see us. So for this, I'm very, very happy, and I think especially if we have a good start against Panama. From there, we can continue to another perspective, or from England perspective, or Croatia's perspective, to do one or two surprises.
England boss Thomas Tuchel, however, singled out the clash against Croatia as a big game, but dismissed suggestions that the Three Lions' history in the World Cup will give them an advantage over their group opponents.
Difficult group, difficult opener against a strong Croatian side, or 10th in the world. Then we have Panama. All the ingredients for an upset if we're not taking this serious and with all the respect. And Ghana has big players in the Premier League, fully focused and maybe well rested. I think we have a difficult group, and we start late into the tournament, so we know what's coming and we need to be well prepared.
On the view from Croatia, head coach Zlatko Dalic said he is unfazed by the challenge posed by the Black Stars, highlighting his side's good record against African opposition in past World Cups.
First World Cup, my World Cup, we played against Nigeria. Also in the World Cup, we won 2-0. Then Morocco did fantastic job last World Cup. We played twice there against them. Not easy for us, especially. Maybe it will be easy for African team.
Meanwhile, Panama head coach Thomas Christiansen acknowledged the quality in Ghana's squad, describing the Black Stars as potential difficult opponents.
I will not speak about the players, as I said, about Iñaki Williams, and I know him from Spain, but all over, it's a very difficult team to beat.
Ball by ball, name by name, now the World Cup groups are set, and the countdown to the tournament now truly begins. And for Otuado and the Black Stars, they will be carrying the dreams and hopes of millions of Ghanaians. Reporting for Sporty FM from the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., Emmanuel Ayamga.
And that was Emmanuel Ayamga putting together everything that happened at the GFK Center inside Washington, D.C. And let me pick the thoughts of Coach Ebenezer Sefa. Coach Ebenezer Sefa is a resident analyst when it comes to the Ghana Premier League. He will share his thoughts with me on the Black Stars draw. But Coach, let's talk about the general draw. Which group stand out for you as that group that's a group of death? Let me put it that way.
Well, I believe all the groups are strong. To be honest with you, all the groups are strong. And when you pick the groups, you definitely get two countries that are very strong. Ghana, the two, and possibly three. That is the reason why probably countries are happy to have at least 8 to be able to have the 3 teams. 8 countries will be qualified to play to get to the group stage or above the group. The best 3 teams.
Yeah.
You know my point. So for me, I think that every group, if they come from group A, go and check. At least 2-3 countries. Let's use Ghana's group for instance. England is a tough side. Croatia, you know how they play their game. You know Croatia players. Yes, in as much as most of them are aging, they come with quality, they come with experience. And they know how to manage tournaments. They know how to play tournaments. Panama is unknown. But Ghana, our history is there when it comes to the World Cup. So we're looking at just the 3 countries, England, Croatia, and Ghana. Of course, they are a strong side. Looking at where the other African countries are, look at their groups. Of course, you pick one major country. Even the African countries that have qualified, apart from Cape Verde, that probably talk of history that in FIFA, look at Cote d'Ivoire. So, African champions, so look at how they are playing.
So African champions, they find themselves in... so Cote d'Ivoire, they find themselves in Group E. Germany, Curacao, Ecuador. Very tough teams.
Very tough team. Ecuador is very strong. Very tough team. I mean, they have individual players who are very good.
Yeah.
Very, very tough. Especially when it comes to this part of the world, like the EPL, they come to Europe proper to play their games. Even when it comes to the South American games that they play, you watch how Ecuador play. I don't know whether it's their altitude or no, but they are very good side. You cannot take it away from them. Cote d'Ivoire that we see, for me, I think that Cote d'Ivoire is a very good side. Very good side. Among the African countries that have qualified, they're a very good side. So you cannot talk about a strong team and then leave their group. And I'm saying that, look, all the groups are strong. All the groups are tough.
There's France, Senegal, Norway.
France, 98. The Senegal team, the Fadigals and the rest that went to perform. Look at Senegal, the consistency that they've chalked after winning their last AFCON. Look at the kind of players, look at the quality of players that they possess. Norway, we'll talk of Haaland,
Solo,
and the rest. Because Haaland is scoring in Europe, everyone want to see him. And when you see the Norwegian team at the biggest stage, of course you cannot underrate them. They are a very good side. Look at Germany, for instance. You talk of the German national team. So for me, I think that all the groups are tough.
There's Spain, there's Cape Verde, there's Saudi Arabia, there's Uruguay.
You talk of, that's what I'm saying, that in each group, you have at least 2 countries that have got history backing them. You get 2 countries that have got quality than the other 2 in each group. So for me, I see this World Cup with 48 countries going to battle for just the ultimate. It's never going to be easy. It's never going to be easy.
It will be interesting to see what Saudi Arabia do this time around. Last time they beat Argentina.
Well, they were the host.
Yeah.
They were not the host.
They were not the host.
They were, but at least they were just about the yes, of course. And looking at the number of fans that came to watch that particular game, and watch Argentina 1990 World Cup against Cameroon as defending champions. They lost the first game, but they went all the way to the finals. Eventually, the Germans won.
Yeah.
You understand? So for me, I believe that you just need to prepare well, make sure that you have your plans well put across.
So Ghana's group.
It's a tough one.
England, Croatia.
It's a tough Panama. One. And for me, a country that Ghana should be thinking of is Panama. When you talk of England, at least we've been watching the EPL, we've been watching the English.
You know what to expect.
It's a difficult one, no doubt about it. But to talk of Ghanaian players, as it stands today, it's only 2 players that played in the Premiership. You talk of Kudus and Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah.
Our captain is in the Championship. Ishaku Fatau and Brandon Asante is in the Championship. You have a couple of them that have played in the Partey, for instance, has played alongside Declan Rice and most of the English players in Arsenal. He has met them, those players that plays for Manchester United. So individually, they know themselves. But as a team, the English team is a very tough one when it comes to major tournaments.
Yeah.
Very strong side. We look at the Croatian national team. They talk of Luka Modric is 40. Look at what he's doing at AC Milan.
Yeah.
The Perisic, look at what he's doing. So this is a team that can manage a tournament. They know how to play. And you rightly said, if England is to think about one country within the group, it is going to be Croatia, not Ghana.
Yeah.
But I believe that if Ghana is able to win its first game against Panama, we are in the right path. Because if you are to lose against Panama or probably pick a point against, there's going to be a lot of pressure on us. Because England and Croatia, one is definitely going to lose, one is going to win.
Of course, yeah.
So
that game will definitely produce.
So the second game is going to be a tough one, and that is where I have a big issue with the Black Stars not qualifying for the AFCON. The African countries that have qualified for AFCON, apart from Cape Verde and Ghana, the rest of them are into the Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
At least if you don't play, you play 3 matches in the group stage. Don't qualify to the next stage. You have 3 solid games to play. At least look at your team. So if probably in March there's another FIFA Open and you want to play, I don't think that's where you're going to invite new players. But unfortunately for Ghana, in March it's possible to invite new players. That is why I felt sad when most of the players declined the friendly against Japan and Korea, attributing to injuries and all that. Because he would have used those matches to look at his squad properly, look at his team properly. And probably in March, if he should have 2 friendlies and maybe one before the final opening of the World Cup, at least then he should have his team, his game plan, position by position. Then, of course, the total teamwork, the cohesion and understanding. But in this case, we had Prince Edukabina coming in for the first time to play Japan and Korea. People saw his performance.
Yeah.
He's a newcomer in the team. Jordan is not there.
You need a few more games.
And the supposed key players were not there to play among them.
Yeah.
Look at Ajete, how he performed. How long has he played alongside Juku, Salisu? If it is Jerome Opoku who has played once with them as a 3-back that Utuado introduced. So for me, I believe that this is the time the Black Stars technical team needs to work around the Panamanian team. I mean, the scouting team has to work. The video analysts need to work. And Otuado needs to put out a plan. And our players also have to be informed, get regular playing time with their teams. We are talking of Kosizibo of Oviedo. He's on the bench. But we are boasting of Kosizibo of the games that he came to play for Black Stars. Fantastic. But he's on the bench. So from now to March.
And against which opponent?
No, it's not about... What I'm saying is that...
You see, I always say that, look, you beat what is in front of you, yes. But we saw Kosizibo in games against teams that never really pushed us. Okay.
But he performed well against Mali.
But how do you...
Mali was a threat.
But you want to see Kosizibo in a game like Japan. You want to see him play in a friendly against South Korea. You want to see him play...
No, he was there.
No, I'm saying...
My problem was...
You want to see him play at the AFCON.
No, okay. my problem is, in the Japan game, if Partey had been there, if Kudus had been there...
You would have received more support.
It's not about support, cohesion and understanding.
Right.
The game against Korea, these are 2 crucial games. If he has gotten those 2 players, I'm talking about Partey and Kudus, obviously, they are going to be starters in the Black Stars team.
Oh, of course.
You understand my point? So the understanding and the cohesion have been there. If Jordan, Ishaku Fatahu, and the rest have been there, we would have seen how probably Prince Edukabina would have been partnered with Jordan Ayew or Inaki Williams.
Or Semenyo.
You understand my point? So for me, I think that we are now going to go back and probably try to put players within some roles and positions that we are going to suffer.
And Otuado says he's trying to get his team to play the high press. Yeah, post the game. He said
yes, I know. But what I'm saying is that is why I'm saying that I feel sad we couldn't qualify for the AFCON.
Because that's what we would have.
Because teams that are going to the World Cup are going to play, at least they'll play 3 games. So their managers are going to use that game to assess the team. Players that are playing regularly with their clubs that are coming for the AFCON, how the teamwork is going to be at bear, how he's going to vary his game plan and all that. And before probably they play other 2 friendly matches in March. So if they should play 3 and get 2 in March, it's not 5. Ghana playing only 2. We've missed 3 already. So it means that we need to get a high-profile friendly match in March.
Does that
very high profile match?
Does that even solve the problem?
No, but the point is that at least it will give you a bit of hope. You get my point? By then, they should be able to go through and then see whether the Panama team, how do they play, which players are the most dangerous, the influential, and everything. Because when it comes to Croatia and of course, England, they are going to give us a hell of a time. But if you are able to win our first game against Panama, okay, in Toronto, in June, I believe that
in Toronto,
in June, I believe that the Black Stars will get confidence to go in for the 2 games against England and Croatia. You just need a point to go through to the next stage. So I believe that it is Otoado and his technical team who has to give Ghanaians hope by inviting players who are fit, players who are playing regularly, and of course whatever he put on the table. That is where you see whether we are going for.
Coach, you were just supposed to scratch the surface for him. Let me welcome Michael. Michael Asarigbodu is joining us from Sporty FM 91.3 inside Kumasi. Michael, good morning to you and welcome to Sporty Breakfast.
Good morning, Raymond. Good morning, Coach. It's great to be on the show.
Well, Michael, we'll get into the drop proper, hopefully on tomorrow's edition of the show. But your initial thoughts, Group L, Ghana, Panama, Croatia, just your opening remarks.
I think we have our work cut out for us. It is going to be a very difficult group, and but it won't be beyond impossible to qualify out of the group, judging by the tournament format. But if you carefully study the teams that we'll face on paper and then in reality, these are teams who stand a chance against us. Looking at the stage the Black Stars find themselves in, I mean, we are talking about the English national side who look to have turned around the corner in terms of their performance in major competitions. In the World Cup contest, they made the semi-finals in 2018, only to lose to Croatia. And then in the last edition, they did not perform as admirably as they did, but they still made it to the knockout stages. Then you have to look at the Euros as well. In the last European Championship, there's an English side that played in the final and then lost to Spain. So they are a team that have garnered enough tournament experience. They are a squad that have played together collectively for a select period of time. And that cohesion that coach was speaking to, well, does exist in the England setup. Yes, it is a new coach, Thomas Tuchel. He's trying to do things differently, perhaps from Gareth Southgate. But one thing that Tuchel has done that reeks of positivity in the England team is that he's been able to bring some level of competition. So there is competition for places. Every player sees the need, whether be it a friendly or in other competitive matches, to show up and then deliver just to the expectation of the coach so that he can put himself in contention for selection for the World Cup. You look at Croatia, and I see a team that is also brimming with experience. One, their coach, Zlatko Dalic. He's only lost 2 World Cup games. He's been in charge right from 2017 coming. And in the World Cup matches he's played 14 World Cup matches. He's lost 2. And those 2 defeats came to Argentina in the semifinals at the last edition of the World Cup. And then the other one was in the final of the 2018 showpiece. So look, the last 2 winners of the World Cup are the only sides Croatia have lost to at the Mundial. And that should tell you their pedigree, their experience. They might not have the stellar names that you look at, but they are a very compactive unit and a very difficult one to break down. And they've been winning games against even some of the established World Cup teams like Brazil, like England. They have been having a go against them. And the only time they've met African sides at the World Cup too, they've prevailed. They beat Nigeria 2-0 in 2018. They beat Morocco 2-1 in the 3rd place playoff at the last edition. And then the 2 also met in the group stages. So you look at it realistically and then on paper, we look to be at a disadvantage against England and then Croatia. So it all boils down to the next game against Panama. And that is a game that we really need to put a lot into in terms of the scouting, in terms of mapping up a plan, a strategy to get the result out of. If we can qualify as a 3rd place team, it would be one about beating Panama and then playing or giving a performance of our lives in one of the games against England and Croatia. And I think it would help us. So you don't just need to be the best team in the group. You need to be the team with the most effective strategy and plan to qualify you to the next stage.
Right, Michael. We'll get back to all of that hopefully tomorrow morning on the show. I'm sure we'll have an extensive conversation on the World Cup draw itself and pick lots of perspectives. We will speak to our correspondents in Panama. I will speak to our men in England, and then we'll also touch base with our men on the ground in Croatia to gauge the atmosphere, what everyone is saying. But let me quickly visit the matter of the Ghana Premier League, because Coach Ebenezer Sifa is here with me. There were some interesting results in the Ghana Premier League over the weekend, and match day 13 of the Ghana Premier League served us some very, very interesting results. And let me quickly take you through some of the results that came through over the weekend. But I'm sure by now everybody knows that Kumasi Asante Kotoko were beaten in Hohoe. They were beaten 1-0 by Hohoe United thanks to Opon's very beautiful free kick. That's how that game ended. 1-0 Hohoe United won over Kotoko. Samatex beat Gold Stars by 2-0. Dreams FC beat Bechen by 2-1. Vision FC and Young Apostles played out a 0-0 draw. Mediama came from a goal down to beat Brekum Chelsea by 2-1 to go to the top of the Ghana Premier League table. Adriana and Holy Stars played out a 0-0 draw. Holy Stars continued their resurgence as far as the Ghana Premier League is concerned. Karila United beat Hearts 2-0. Nations FC beat Hearts of Lions 2-1. And then 11 Wonders lost at home to Swedro Blast by 2-0. Coach, let's look at the Kotoko and Hearts game. Let's look at these two games. What went wrong for Hearts in Tamale?
Of course, I mean, you know that a lot of for me, they were not focused before the game. After losing to True Life, the FA Cup at Pupiman, and how the fans went away. And I've told you that in the last 3 games of Asafok, they've not performed. I watched them against Vision FC at the Legon Sports Stadium, and the midfield was dead, especially in the first half. And going to the Ali Muhammad Sports Stadium, Kerala has gone all the way to Pandu to pick a point. It should tell you how difficult it is to play in Pandu. And I've told you that the team is now building up. They have a very one. Good players, the Blaze Edges, the Evans Osewusu, who has been playing a couple of matches for them, not away but home. I think that they are a very strong side. As the folk is battling with inconsistent performance. I mean, though some of us knew that it was going to be a difficult one. I remember I told you that that's going to be their first defeat, away defeat in the Ghana Premier League, based on what I witnessed at the Legon Stadium and also how they play against True Life, the Division 2 side in the FA Cup. So for me, I wasn't surprised. I was looking at the goal itself. The second goal, I thought that was communication between Osesibe and then Solomon Agbashi. But I think I have to credit the player who had the ball at the back. He had in the penalty area. He was able to bury the ball. The 2 goals all came as a result of in-swing. And for me, I think as of the 2 centre-backs, talk of Ali Mohammed and of course Osesibe, are very strong in the air. For this Kerala boys to be able to punish them tells you that they were multiplying in the half of Asufuk. I wasn't surprised Asufuk lost in that game. Asante Kotoko played poorly in the first 45 minutes. And before the game, we all spoke about this Safiano Osman for Hohoe United. He's the most influential player, the most dangerous player. He carries the team along. He's a distributor. So anytime they are on attack, they look up to him. Kotoko's midfield was dead. I was surprised to see the like of Seth Kojo returning from injury. I mean, Hubert Jahu and Baba Yaya. You don't play Baba Yaya and Hubert Jahu in a game like this. At least you need 2 pivots so that you can play Hubert Jahu as an auxiliary behind Morifin Donsu. For me, Kotoko were playing 10 against 11 technically because there wasn't any supply from Baba Yaya in midfield to the striker. The only suppliers that came to Morifin Donsu was from the left back Joseph Amwa. That were long balls. And you look at the 2 centre-backs of Hohoe United, especially Solomon Adumako. Look at the height of Solomon Adumako. He's got experience in the Ghana Premier League with Accra Great Olympics. So it was difficult for Morifin Donsu to handle him. Even when he holds that play, there wasn't any player to support. So there's a gap between him and, of course, Baba Yaya. So that space, every second ball was being taken by Hohoe United. And I think that Hohoe United play with aggression. They play with confidence. How they push Kotoko. And I believe that everybody saw the goal that was scored by William Odro from that free kick. And I felt that Samba Odell didn't do well by committing that free kick. But hey, Kamara is not helping Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Go and watch the goals that Kotoko have considered that he has been in goal post. I mean, you are a goalkeeper. You had the opportunity of preparing your wall. You went close to the goal post, telling your players to move left and right, meaning that you've seen the position of the ball. Yes, all players, about 3 of them came in front of your wall that you performed. And you went back again, but your positioning for me was bad. You've got a very long reach. So what else again? And I think that Kamara Kotoko should look at their goalkeeping department very well, because he's giving Kotoko a lot of, he's just giving opponents goals that you don't understand. Sometimes, yes, he will go in for a penalty and he will save, and they will think that that is all. In the last 10 years, I think that Kamara has been the weakest goalkeeper Kotoko has had. In the last 10 years. Yes, you can go back and go and check. And for me, I think that the Kotoko team, that Zito made changes in the last 50 minutes. You saw some ball jugglers. I mean, Philip Amo came on, he wasn't bad. You talk of Wahid Nema, he wasn't bad. So Kotoko were doing more of the passing within the penalty area of Hoko United. So you ask yourself, what stopped them from shooting to follow up? Decision making. At a point, Hubert Jehu and then, of course, Zakaria Fuseni will crash with a ball that the one has to communicate to leave for the other to shoot. Peter Amido Aqua indecisive in the penalty area. And it is worrying for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And ask yourself in the first 45 minutes, no shot on target from Kotoko. And if you really want to win the Ghana Premier League, this is not the kind of game you play. Credit goes to Hoko United, a team that went to beat Bechem, and people thought that it was just a fluke, but they were under a lot of pressure, especially their technical team. They map up a proper strategy, and for me, if Kotoko really wants to win the league, this is not the kind of performance they put up. They are going home to play Dreams FC, but I think that the Kotoko team, I've heard people talking about 15 players. I've seen some list somewhere, 15 players injured. In the whole world, I don't know if my brother can help me. The whole world. I don't know any team that have got 15 players injured. 15. I think it's only Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Then there's something wrong with the Kotoko medical team, or what source of injury have they gotten? What source of injury? I met Albert, what was the name? Emmanuel Entry at my area just this 4 days ago. I asked him what is he doing. He said he's coming to see his tailor for his clothes. Not knowing he's getting married. I asked him what is he doing. He said, "Oh, coach, now I'm okay with my knee, but there's a bit pain under my groin and all that." I said, "Oh, fine," and I left. Before I could see the pictures yesterday that he got married this very weekend. But in the list, about 15 players of Kotoko is injured. I don't know. Somebody should tell me whether in Europe, in South America, a club having 15 players injured. 15. You can mention the names. 15. If you can give me a second, I can get the list of the players for you, and I'll mention them for you to know. 15 players injured. 15. And I'm sure my brother
let me bring Michael in on that.
No, just let me mention the names.
Okay.
They have Lord Amwa. He's not injured, but he's suspended.
Okay.
But people are talking about Lord Amwa injured. He's suspended. Patrick Asiedu is injured. Emmanuel Kote is injured. Shaibu Abwaka is injured. Henrendu Ansu is injured. Joseph Ablo injured. Lord Hilary Adabo injured. Emmanuel Entry injured. Andrew Sintimenu injured. Samuel Tenedu injured. Saka Dauda injured. Elvis Cheba for Auchi injured. I don't know what sort of injury is that, because he's been out for so long. He has not kicked a ball under Karim Zito. And you talk of Jordan Emisa injured. Isaac Mita has not kicked a ball under Zito. He's injured. And then Kwame Poku is injured. 15 players. It has not happened in any football club that I know. Unless somebody will tell me that, look, this is something that's 15. So you ask yourself, what sort of injury is this, and what is the Kotoko medical team doing about this? Of course, you feel for Karim Zito. If you have these names in your team and they are all injured, how do you plan? How do you get consistency in terms of your? It's worrying. But whom do you blame? Me or you? No, they have themselves to blame.
Right.
They have themselves to blame. I give credit to United
let me pick the thoughts of Michael on this injury list. Michael, you are very close to the team. You are very close to the team, and I know you have a lot of insights as to what goes on around the club. 15 players injured, or let's say 14, one suspended. So 14 players injured. I mean, what kind of injuries are these players dealing with, and why is recovery becoming a bit of a challenge? And also, what has the medical team of Kumasi Asante Kotoko been up to these days?
Raymond, I think clearly you would have to look at the physical conditioning of the players. When Zito came on board, after he took charge of the team, when Prosper Natogum was dismissed, there was one striking concern he raised, and that had to do with the fitness levels of the players. He complained about their physical condition, and that necessitated the management then to engage a private fitness instructor who is popularly known here in Kumasi as PAO. Now, he came on board, and then in a matter of weeks, there was a rapid improvement in whatever problems or concerns that Zito made regarding the fitness levels of the team. As it stands now, per my checks, the last time PAO was engaged was like over a month or two ago, because the contract he signed with the team has expired. There's been no talk about a renewal that I know of. So I think it's suffice to say that Kotoko, as it stands now, do not have a typical fitness instructor or fitness coach. That is one. Two, most of the players have suffered muscle injuries, and some were long-term injuries. For instance, in the case of Emmanuel Kote, his was a lengthy injury. He suffered an ACL. That was even during the time of Prosper Natiogum, and he's not played a game under Zito. He returned to training, raised concerns about feeling some pain or discomfort, and so they had to just ease him through and not really force him through it. But what I can say is that he's had some bouts of training with the team that looks okay. Andres and Team Menu looks to have made a swift recovery from his injury. But again, Zito has advised that they approach the situation with caution and not rush him back when he's not fully ready. There have also been other players who have not even reported for training, including Isaac Minta. And I think all these will feed into the narrative of the management not handling things well, because they had a decision to make regarding the future of Isaac Minta. Maybe someone like Elvis Chebafo, who are mostly out of the team than they are available for selection. And the management had a decision to make regarding their future. And when they decided to cut ties with players who were mostly available, like Samson Eduku, and then kept faith with the likes of Isaac Minta, it was baffling to some of us, because we were wondering that Minta is not available. He's mostly not available. Eduku is available, and you can rely on him. And it looks like at the tail of last season, he was starting to pick form and come to terms with how he's expected to play for Asante Kotoko. So if you send Eduku away and then you keep an injured Isaac Minta who has not even trained for like 6 months, then it becomes very worrying for fans and then the supporters. And again, management decision. Kotoko have been complaining and laboring up front because they don't have a competent attacker. Donzo has not settled in. Kwame Poku has been in and out of the team due to his own injuries. And then you decide to sell Albert Amwa, who was your best player as at the time that you were making a deal with the Libyan club to sell him. So all these will fall into various factors. One, management decisions. Two, player lifestyles. Three, the lack of a physical instructor, a fitness coach to take them through the session. So this will partly explain why they are having to deal with a lot of injuries in their camp.
All right, Michael. I think we've run out of time. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be back to run the rule over Ghana Premier League match day 13 and also speak about a few developments in Europe. We had planned to speak about the Mohamed Salah issue at Liverpool and Arsenal and their title challenge. Hopefully we'll bring all of that back tomorrow. Of course, we'll be discussing the World Cup draw as well into details. Look at the every group, every opposition, the quality they have in there, and also properly analyze the Black Stars group and see how far they can go as far as this tournament is concerned. So, Michael, let me say a big thank you to you for joining us on the show. Hopefully, we'll catch up tomorrow.
All right. Thank you very much.
Great. Have a good day, Michael. Well, that's Inside French. Nathan will bring us Inside French football on Thursday. But there's Total English